Hello, we are back. It's the evening now. It's after sunset, so not Sabbath. We spent Sabbath with family, church family, and home family. Virtual world allows us to do that. It's pretty amazing. Eating cheesecake tonight. I got some chips. I got a sucker, some candy, and of course, my silk. I love silk. I need the estrogen. It's like milk, but better. No, I don't understand. A lot of people don't like it, but I need it because milk does not agree with my belly anymore. It's what happens when you get old. Messaging old friends. What goes on a perfect hot dog? I spell mayonnaise. I'm just gonna say mayo. Oh, it's mayonnaise. There we go. Interesting question. That's my question. Okay. So we're going to do cod calling. Today's the 14th. When faith fails. Lord, I believe. Help thou mine unbelief. Mark 9:24. This cry of the human heart is as expressive of human need as it was when uttered. This cry of the human heart is as expressive of human need as it was when uttered to me while I was on earth. It expresses the soul's progress. As the soul realizes me in my power and knows me as helper and savior, the soul believes in me more and more. At the same time, it is more conscious than before of its falling short of absolute trust in me. Lord, I believe. Help thou mine unbelief. The soul's progress as increased belief. Then a cry for more faith, a plea to conquer all unbelief, all lack of trust. That cry heard, that prayer answered. More faith, and at the same time more power to see where trust is lacking. My children seek to go up this path, leading by each stage nearer to me. I've prayed that prayer. When I was in prison, I prayed that prayer, and God showed me. He said, darling, my daughter, dear, Read what you have prayed to me, all your prayers. You have faith, my dear, so much faith. Just hold steady to me, and I will guide you. Confused. After God calls, Jesus calls. It says, worship me by living close to me. This was my original design for man. Hello, Alex. Into whom I breathed my very breath of life. And I'm sorry, you ever on YouTube, you don't see my chat, I'm going to try to fix that. I don't know how to get it up on the screen yet. I'm getting there. Learning a little bit each day, folks. We learn new things every day. But hi, Alex. Welcome to the stream. This was my original design for man, into whom I breathed my very breath of life. This is my desire for you, that you stay near me as you walk along your life path. Each day is an important part of that journey. Although you may feel as if you are going nowhere in this world, your spiritual journey is another matter altogether, taking you along steep, treacherous paths of adventure. That is why walking in the light of my presence is essential to keep you from stumbling. By staying close to me, you present yourself as a living sacrifice. Even the most routine part of your day can be a spiritual act of worship, holy and pleasing to me. Genesis 2:7, Psalms 89:15, and Romans 12:1 through 9. I forgot to take my Bible to church with me. Who forgets to take their Bible to church? So much was going on this morning, and I just needed to get to fellowship. 2:7. And the Lord formed man of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. Did you know that even in the it's not just Viking, the Norse mythology, that man was made from driftwood, still from the earth we were made. Can you imagine that? It's so true.
Mom, can you open my Dr. Pepper for me?
Hold on. I'll be right back, folks. It's going to be a weird night, folks. Weird night. Long and weird night, I'm telling you. Okay. Yeah, even the Druids believe we came from nature. We are from nature, from our eyes to our flesh to our hair. We came from nature. Even our pheromones, man. I wrote a whole paper on this. Of course, it's not published because I ain't fancy like that. I ain't got no doctorate, but still. Oh, the next verse is Psalms 89:15. I went past it. Blessed is the people that know the joyful sound. They shall walk, O Lord, in the light of thy countenance. The light of God's presence. He was the light in the desert for the Egyptians. Or not the Egyptians. Well, there were some Egyptians in there, I'm telling you what. When they came out of Egypt, there was Egyptians and Jews. Today at Sabbath, I don't know if you guys could actually hear it in the stream, but we talked about different types of Jews. Now there's different types of Jews. It used to be that there was a Jew. He was a Jew from Egypt. He was a Jew from Greece. But now it's some fancy worded Jew. And why? Why we all got to be like divided? Next verse. Romans 12:1-9. I got on the subject of different denomination of Christianity and the different denominations of that just celebrate the Sabbath on Saturday. Over 50, I think it was. Romans 12:1-2. Hello, Romans. I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God, that ye present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy, acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. And be not conformed to this world, and be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God. If we walk it, we live it. Why do we conform to what man says that we should be? Come on, people. Wake up! September 14th, the Stoics say, a different way to pray. Try praying differently and see what happens. Instead of asking for a way to sleep with her, try asking for a way to stop desiring to sleep with her. Whoa, what? Instead of a way to get rid of him, try asking for a way to not crave his demise. Instead of a way not to lose my child, try asking for a way to lose my fear of it. Wow, that one hits home. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations, 9.4. Prayer has a religious connotation, but in life we all find ourselves hoping and asking for things. In a tough situation, we might slightly ask for help, or, after a tough break, for a second chance from above. During a sports game, we might sit on the edge of our seat wishing for some outcome. Come on, come on, come on, we say, please. Even if it is to no one in particular, we're still praying. Yet it's so revealing in these moments, when we're privately, powerfully yearning for something, just how nakedly selfish our requests usually are. We want divine intervention so that our lives will magically be easier. But what about asking for fortitude and strength so you can do what you need to do? What if you sought clarity on what you do control, what is already within your power? You might find your prayers have already been answered. Silk, silk, silk. Yummy, yummy silk. Tried and sacrificed. Lesson 12. Once again, this is the Seventh-day Adventist quarterly that I read from for this part. The memory verse for this week is, oh, I love this verse. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is translated, my God, why have you forsaken me? Mark 15:34. And at church today, we discussed, I brought that up, that Jesus, even Jesus, in his time of need, this man that people considered to be perfect, even in his time of need, his most darkest hour, nobody was there for him. Not even his Father in heaven. Not even God was there. Everybody deserted him. He was utterly alone. Can you imagine that? That's my worst fear. People say that's not even fathomable, but that's an unrealistic fear. But are you kidding me? Jesus endured that. How is that an unrealistic fear? This man that people worship, Christ, as Christ Lord, he endured it. How is that an unrealistic fear? That's scary, man. My son said his worst fear right now is death. I asked him why his greatest fear is death, and he said, because, Mom, I'm afraid to die and that you won't be my mom anymore. That broke. I got teary-eyed. I started crying. My little baby's afraid to die because he still wants me to be his mom. I want you to be my mom, Mom, because you're a cool mom. You're a good mom. That's my baby boy. Mark 15 is the heart of the Passion narrative. It presents the trial of Jesus, his condemnation, the mockery by the soldiers, his crucifixion, and then his death and burial. The events in this chapter are presented in stark, crisp detail, likely because the author let the facts speak for themselves. Throughout this chapter, irony plays an important role. Because of this, it is helpful to have a clear definition of what irony is. Irony often contains three components. 1. Two levels of meaning. And 2. The two levels are in conflict or contrast to each other. And 3. Someone does not see the irony and does not recognize what is happening and does not know that he or she is the one who will suffer the consequences. This week, from the question of Pilate, "Are you the king of the Jews?" to the mocking soldiers, the sign above the cross, and the mocking of the religious leaders. He saved others. Himself he cannot save. To the unexpected appearance of Joseph of Arimathea, the chapter is filled with painful ironies that nevertheless reveal powerful truths about the death of Jesus and what it means. Oh, there she is. Forgot to read the Kabbalah yesterday. Got late. I should have read it. I should have just did it. Cheesecake. I love cheesecake. Don't like cake so much, but I like cheesecake. But I know how to make the cake batter into cookies. Oh my god, they're so soft and yummy. That's where we're gonna be. This is where we are. My brain hurts right here, guys. Right here. It hurts. It's going to be okay, though. I promise. Chapter 6. The Divine Paradox. This is from the Kabbalah, which is the Hermetic principles, well, the Hermetic philosophy, which the Egyptians believed. The half-wise, recognizing the comparative unreality of the universe, imagine that they may defy its laws. Such are vain and presumptuous fools, and they are broken against the rocks and torn asunder by the elements by reason of their folly. The truly wise, knowing the nature of the universe, use law against laws, the higher against the lower, and by the art of alchemy transmute that which is undesirable into that which is worthy, and thus triumph. Mastery consists not in abnormal dreams, visions, and fantastic imaginings or living, but in using the higher forces against the lower, escaping the pains of the lower planes by vibrating on the higher. Transmutation, not presumptuous denial, is the weapon of the master. This is the paradox of the universe. Resulting from the principle of polarity, which manifests when the all begins to create. Hearken to it, for it points the difference between half-wisdom and wisdom. While to the infinite all, the universe, its laws, its powers, its life, its phenomena, are as things witnessed in the state of meditation or dream. Yet to all that is finite, the universe must be treated as real, and life and action and thought must be based thereupon accordingly, although with an ever understanding of the higher truth. Each according to its own plane and laws. Were the all to imagine that the universe were indeed reality, then woe to the universe, for there would be then no escape from lower to higher, divineward. Then would the universe become a fixity, and the progress would become impossible. And if man, owing to half-wisdom, acts and lives and thinks of the universe as merely a dream, akin to his own finite dreams, then indeed does it so become for him. And like a sleepwalker, he stumbles ever around and around in a circle, making no progress, and being forced into an awakening at last by his falling, bruised and bleeding over the natural laws which he ignored. Keep your mind ever on the star, but let your eyes watch over your footsteps, lest you fall into the mire by reason of your upward gaze. Remember the divine paradox, that while the universe is not, still it is. Remember ever the two poles of truth, the absolute and the relative. Beware of half-truths. What Hermeticists know as the law of paradox is an aspect of the principle of polarity. The Hermetic writings are filled with references to the appearance of the paradox in the consideration of the problems of life and being. The teachers are constantly warning their students against the error of omitting the other side of any question, and their warnings are particularly directed to the problems of the absolute and the relative, which perplex all students of philosophy and which cause so many to think and act contrary to what is generally known as common sense. And we caution all students to be sure to grasp the divine paradox of the absolute and relative, lest they become entangled in the mire of the half-truth. With this in view, this particular lesson has been written. Read it carefully. The first thought that comes to thinking man after he realizes the truth that the universe is a mental creation of the all is that the universe and all that it contains is a mere illusion, an unreality, against which idea his instincts revolt. But this, like all other great truths, must be considered both from the absolute and the relative points of view. From the absolute point of view, of course, the universe is in the nature of an illusion, a dream, a phantasmagoria as compared to the all in itself. We recognize this even in our ordinary view, for we speak of the world as a fleeting show that comes and goes, is born and dies, for the element of impermanence and change, finiteness and instability must ever be connected with the idea of a created universe when it is contrasted with the idea of the all, no matter what may be our beliefs concerning the nature of both. Philosopher, metaphysician, scientist, and theologian all agree upon this idea, and the thought is found in all forms of philosophical thought and religious conceptions, as well as in the theories of the respective schools of metaphysics and theology. So the Hermetic teachings do not preach the instability of the universe in any stronger terms than those more familiar to you, although their presentation of the subject may seem somewhat more startling. Anything that has a beginning and an end must be, in a sense, unreal and untrue, and the universe comes under the rule in all schools of thought. From the absolute point of view, there is nothing real except the all, no matter what terms we may use in thinking of or discussing the subject. Whether the universe be created of matter, or whether it be a mental creation in the mind of the all, it is unsubstantial, non-enduring, a thing of time, space, and change. We want you to realize this fact thoroughly before you pass judgment on the Hermetic conception of the mental nature of the universe. Think over any and all of the other conceptions and see whether this be not true of them. But the absolute point of view shows merely one side of the picture. The other side is the relative one. Absolute truth has been defined as things as the mind of God knows them, while relative truth is things as the highest reason of man understands them. And so, while the universe must be unreal and illusionary, a mere dream or result of meditation, nevertheless, to the finite minds forming a part of the universe and viewing it through mortal faculties, the universe is very real indeed and must be so considered. In recognizing the absolute view, we must not make the mistake of ignoring or denying the facts and phenomena of the universe as they present themselves to our mortal facilities. We are not the all. Remember, we are in the mind of the all, and the all is in all, but we are not the all. I tried to explain it to my kid, and he kind of said it right. He said, God is in us, so we are God. And I said, yes and no. I said, God is in us, and we are in God. We are not God, but we are part of God. It's very confusing. But he's 8, and he somehow, I don't know, he said it back to me in a more understanding way. And yes, I'm eating cheesecake and chips and all this goodies because I broke my fast at church today. It was tasty food. And I just got over COVID. I can eat what I want to eat. It's tasty. All right. Lots of pages. We might have to take a break, y'all. I've only been on here for 34 minutes. So, we're going to stop there. I'm only 2 pages in. But that's okay. We'll come back. When we get to the Kabbalah and the Bhagavad Gita, it's always longer for some reason. Be right back, folks. I said I'd read more. My brain really hurts right now, guys, and well, not my brain, but my head. Doing the spiritual stuff takes a lot more out of you than you think. So I'm gonna end this tonight and get it posted. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening and a wonderful day tomorrow until I see you again. This is the way. Peace be with you.